Welcome to Green Pitch Solutions. I'm Joshua Hines.
I'm Caleb Anderson.
I'm Caleb Casey.
I'm Gavin Johnson.
And I'm Elijah Grant.
All right, so first we're going to talk about the brand identity of Green Pitch Solutions. Our brand's mission is, first off, we are a grass maintenance company. We offer grass fields of any sort to any sort of college stadium, whether it be football, soccer, baseball, just anything in the collegiate athlete kind of industry and world. So our brand's mission is, first off, we want to provide safe and high quality grass fields to collegiate athletes that'll minimize injury risks. Done a lot of research, and after our research, we've seen that grass fields are just a lot safer than turf fields. Not only do they look nicer, but they play safer. Our brand values include safety, innovation, sustainability, and excellence. Obviously, safety is a very important thing, but then you look at innovation, sustainability, and excellence. We want to provide those three things to athletes. Our brand's why. College athletes deserve the best playing fields, and we want to be able to offer that, helping them to stay kind of in their peak and make the next level, whether that be the majors or minors, and be injury-free during this time. And then obviously our target market is college athletes, and we want to create value through being cost efficient, providing better performance, and improving safety measures.
So I had the executive summary, and there's plenty of reasons why natural grass has its advantages, and here's just a few of them. The environmental impact. Turf field has plastic particles in it, and overall that's just not very good with the environment, while grass is natural. And the safety of the athletes. I read something saying with good traction, it could lead to less injuries, which I thought was quite interesting. And with great traction that turf has, can lead to a lot more serious injuries. And the cost difference, you may think turf field is a lot cheaper and easier to maintain, but it really isn't. A lot of tears happen in the turf field, and it could lead to a large amount of cost to that. And then the overall benefits of grass, it's just more aesthetically pleasing to a lot of the athletes, and especially when I played, I much prefer playing on grass. And yeah.
Going on to the pros of having a grass field. First of all, many athletes prefer to have like the pure visual of a realistic enhance of having a natural grass field, creating a tactile experience. But there's other ways than just like trying to be more realistic that goes to having a grass field. Well, for one, it has a cooler surface than artificial turf, especially during hot weather. It it goes into also reducing the high risk of players getting injured. So therefore, they also deals with having safety. Players be able to maneuver well, and it ensures the players, ensures the comfort. Other than that, it has a healthier ecosystem. The thing about it is, it's harmlessly, it seemed like the beauty of a grass field. And, like not just the look, but enhancing that experience. And also, it's cost less, it's cheaper than artificial turf.
And going on with the weaknesses, grass field does have its weaknesses with mowing and fertilizing, trying to maintain it and keep it looking good year round. And the cost of maintenance, like I said, with the mowing and fertilizing and taking care of the grass, and time consumption again as well, mowing it year round, keeping it fertilized, and keeping it looking good for all the specific sports, whether having to paint the lines for football, painting the lines for soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, et cetera, et cetera. And turf field weaknesses, I kind of went over a few of them in the executive summary. The sizable amount of injuries. I am the manager for the women's lacrosse team here. And since I've been a manager here for the last 2 years, there's been 7 ACL tears. all on turf field, regardless if it was Liberty's field or an opposing team's field. And it has brought a lot of setbacks onto the girls, having to play a 5th year, possibly a 6th year, due to the injuries. But nonetheless, it is very difficult with all the injuries that they have dealt with. And of course, the replacement costs from tears, usually from, just old turf and having to fix it. And of course, with bad weather, leading to a lot of problems there as well. And of course, the environmental issues I kind of went over with a little earlier with the plastic particles in the ground. That could lead to a lot of issues as well.
So now we're going to look at some opportunities for green pitch. First off, you look at technological advancements of playing on grass. They are, when you look at stuff now, grass is kind of, a lot of teams are wanting to go back to grass, but there are also teams that are basically taking what they call a hybrid grass. So it's not fully grass and not fully synthetic turf. So it's kind of a bit of a mixture. So I know we said we are mostly grass, or we have a focus on grass, but there is ability to get kind of into the hybrid space. Then you kind of look at the customization aspects. On turf fields, it's kind of harder to put things such as logos or, switching over fields. So whereas grass fields, you're able to switch out fields. I mean, you look at college sports, a lot of the college football playoff games are in NFL stadiums. And most of those stadiums have to be grass fields in order to put logos and such on those fields. And then again, kind of going off of the weaknesses and strengths, player safety initiatives, just making sure that players are able to stay safe throughout all of this is a very important aspect.
Yeah, so moving on to the threats. Again, kind of in line with the weaknesses, we see a lot of different threats in these areas. First, we see cost and budget concerns. Again, a lot of maintenance is required for these fields. Having to keep up with the grass, having to keep up with all the fertilization that's needed. Another one we see a lot is weather and climate dependence. It's really difficult with these fields, whether there's storm, whether there's a lot of heat in this area. Just keep trying to keep up with that. Whether we see constant flooding. So whereas it would be easier on a turf field, with these weather conditions, it makes it a little bit more challenging on these conditions on a grass field. We see a lot of different play style adjustments. A few articles that I had done some research on said that a lot of athletes have talked about how they've had to adjust their play styles based on grass and turf fields. And it was concluded that over 65% of these athletes concluded that they would prefer grass fields to then have to not worry about having to adjust their play style with the speed of the ball or how the movement works. And then again, just kind of going back to the injuries, we see a lot more injuries on turf fields rather than on grass fields.
So part of the focus group results, based on like the whole surveys, it was a 50-50 split between people who prefer grass and people who prefer turf. So, but there has been research based on like there are more serious injuries on turf, such as ACL, other parts, et cetera. But overall, the grass field does look more appealing to play on because it offers a more realistic experience for people who actually want to feel like they're actually being played on, like maybe like, pro sport they're trying to reenact, or like college or major college sports team that they wish they can be on.
Yeah, and just to emphasize the focus group, some things we see is 6 out of 10 people on the survey that we asked prefer to play on grass over turf field just because of the natural feel of the grass and the turf. But the second point says 5 out of 10, said that the natural field is better on grass than turf. It's better for the knees, the ankles, the legs. As a former athlete myself, playing on both turf and grass field, I could say that the grass is better and lighter on the feet and your legs. And it also, like, to the point again, which is like the big point of this, is says at the very bottom you see that 8 out of 10 teammates have experienced injury, or 8 out of 10 participants had teammates that have experienced injuries due to turf field conditions. And it just it just highlights the point how turf, it might look better and look appealing, but it really does cause bring a negative negative results to athletes when it comes to their health on the field.
Yeah, so to kind of conclude, we see the decision making in how we define our success. So we define our success for our business would be to have 30 to 40% of all collegiate fields move to more natural grass. Again, we see a lot of artificial turf. We would just like to move 30 to 40% of those to natural grass. Based on our survey results, we see that there is a need for these natural grasses as, again, we kind of said there was a 50-50 split for people wanting turf, but again, for also people wanting grass fields. Again, a lot of positive feedback assures the demand for our business needs. And then again, we want to create a new culture, a new and better culture for our sport, or for sports in general, on grass fields over turf. Kind of setting a new standard for what the ideal conditions and preferences would be.
And that concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.